everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, this is Bachelorette Talks, and today we're discussing episode 8 of Hannah's season in Amsterdam. I feel like this episode recap may be a little bit on the short side, so I also have two other things to talk about at the end of the video. Be sure to stick around. We're gonna have a little discussion on Peter. And we're also going to be talking about the cast of Bachelor in Paradise. So if you're interested in that, be sure to hang out to the end. And let's get this recap started. We're in Amsterdam now, and things are a little bit different with the format. It's not so much about date cards anymore. They're all out together, and Hannah pulls Jed aside. Well, she doesn't really pull him. She kind of announces in front of everyone, like, hey, Jed, you want to go on a date? Like, why would he say no? And I feel like I can't sit here and enjoy this because in case you're late to the party, Jed had a serious girlfriend back home that he straight up ghosted. She had, according to her, she had no idea. He went on the show. He just disappeared out of nowhere, stopped talking to her. And he basically went on the show to advertise himself being a musician. But as he claims, he actually started to have feelings for Hannah. So while he did admittedly go onto the show for fame, he is actually enjoying the process and falling in love with her. And then even since he admitted that on TV, then we find out he had a girlfriend he ghosted. Like, I just don't know how anyone could sit there and enjoy the screen time that he is getting. And I like that the guys made a joke, like, he doesn't have his guitar with him, does he? And it killed me because in the preview for next week's episode for the hometowns, we see him with his stupid guitar again. But I have so many questions about Jed because, again, not so much the date, but what is speculating around it. We know he got the rose. We know he's going to hometowns. How is this going to work? Like, what does he say to his parents? Like, did he tell his parents he broke up with his girlfriend? Or are they just saying, like, don't bring it up? Like, how do you go about that? That's, I don't know. Anyways, what for me was hard in this scene is that you see Hannah, like, really genuinely fall in love with him. And she talks about the moment she fell in love with him earlier in the day where she clicked her heels and it was like magic. And he's like, oh my God, it was magic for me too. Except it's not because you have a girlfriend, so. Do you guys think that Jed is genuine? I feel like we've seen a little bit more of his personality out on this date, but I just don't like him because of what he did. And also, I like how he told people that they were English, like, we're English? Like, no, it's American. I was just like, oh my God, even more reasons to not like him. I also hate when they pull, like, old couples in and, like, have them talk to people on a one-on-one. It's just, I don't know, it just comes across as very fake and set up to me. So what are your thoughts on Jed's date? Next up is my favorite part of the whole show, which was her date with Tyler, because Tyler is freaking perfect. There are a lot of people that are starting to say that they don't like Tyler because he's too perfect. And a lot of people are trying to say that Tyler's a player because the stuff that he's saying and he's just being too smooth and, like, no guy is that good and no guy is that genuine, so he's obviously a player, and people are just assuming that he cheated on his girlfriend because he said he failed in his last relationship. But I don't care. I'm still Team Tyler. He better win. I hope he wins. I don't think I would be happy with seeing Hannah with any of the other guys, honestly. Like, I really hope it's Tyler. On this date, Hannah realizes, you know, she was struggling to get Tyler to open up to her, which was, like, hard because at home, like, we see him standing up to toxic masculinity in Luke. We see him having her back. We see him saying all these great things behind closed doors, but she obviously isn't seeing it. So she's really trying to pull from him. And I was almost nervous there for a minute, but then Hannah said that she realized that Tyler's the kind of guy that will always have her back and always be there for her. And it's like, yes, you are seeing what we are seeing, and they are falling in love with each other, and it is just amazing. What are your thoughts on Tyler? Like, do you love Tyler as much as I love Tyler? Because he's adorable. The last one-on-one on this episode is with Mike. And this is a moment that I had been kind of, like, waiting for because I just didn't see the romantic chemistry between them. I like Mike a lot. I think that he's a super great guy. Him and Hannah were just, like, not a mesh together. So it was just hard to watch. And I also think that it really speaks to his character and how he is such a great guy. When she was breaking up with him, he even said, no, it's okay, take a minute, like take your time. Like, who is that patient when they're getting broken up with? Like, I don't know. I felt bad because he was so excited to have Hannah come home and meet his sister, his mom, his grandmother. But rumor has it he'll be on Paradise, even though a lot of people are saying that they would like to see him as the next Bachelor just because he has so much charisma and he just has such a joy for life. I think he would be a good candidate for the Bachelor too. What are your thoughts? So when Mike got the last one-on-one, we just all saw the look in Connor's face and it was just like, rah, rah. Like he kind of knew. Like he knew if he didn't get a one-on-one, it was kind of over. Because he had his one-on-one right when the show first started, and we really haven't seen him. Like I mentioned in past recaps, like it's like he's not even on the show anymore because he's not getting any camera time. He's not doing anything to stand out, and I just don't think that he made an active effort to try to reconnect things with Hannah. I feel like he was maybe waiting around for them to happen on his own, or like he was waiting around hoping for another one-on-one date to make that connection instead of trying to do it on the group dates, but that was his downfall. So he basically goes to Hannah's room to have a talk with her, to touch base, and she ends up ending it with him, and I do feel bad, but he is 24, he has that adorable little baby face, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be on Paradise. Now towards the end of the episode, of course, is drama because Luke is here until the bitter end, so we're stuck with it. He is basically running his mouth in the hotel room. He really seems to dislike Mike the most, and it's just like, if anything, you should dislike Garrett the most, but that's just based on what we see. And he's just talking about how he's gonna be so excited if Mike goes home, and that just shows like you don't have empathy for other people. And it's like, yeah, obviously the goal is to get to the end, but feelings are involved, people's emotions are involved. So to sit there and just not have any empathy or sympathy or like any kind of like bad feeling of, wow, he was really into Hannah and now he went home, like that sucks, he seemed like a good guy, like blah blah, like none of that. He's just like, I can't wait for all you people to be gone. But who knows, maybe if you're Luke, you wouldn't have that feeling in the house if like everyone was arguing with you all the time. I don't know. But I just thought it was interesting because he made a comment and said that Tyler is the one that makes everybody in the room uncomfortable and it's not him. And I'm like, Tyler's the least problematic out of all the guys that are left, so. Then Luke just starts going on a typical rampage about how everybody sucks, everybody's awful, and then Garrett's the one that's going to suffer for it. Luke tries saying like they were cool with each other, and then now because other people are in the room, he's like telling him to piss off, and it's just like, I don't know what to think with Garrett, honestly. Like he is just almost as bad as Luke because he's just almost as annoying, and I don't know if he's being fake, I don't know if he's being genuine, but if you're stuck spending basically, I think it's like what, 2 or 3 months that they're filming together, you're stuck with this person in the same room with them, it would be so much more uncomfortable to sit there and just be like giving them the death stare all day. So I feel like to make time go by and to make it somewhat enjoyable, you make conversation with people. But what do you think? Do you think that Garrett's being fake, or do you think that Luke is just too much into his head and Garrett was just trying to be polite? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Now we move on to a 3-on-1. We didn't really get that dramatic 2-on-1 that happens every season. We had a 3-on-1 today with Peter, Garrett, and Luke. And we all know that Garrett's gonna be the one to go home. So again, it's just like a painful like 10 minutes of watching this date. Of course, Luke is the first one to talk to her. Of course, Luke starts bad-mouthing the other guys. What we don't know and what we don't see is that if Hannah actually asked about the other guys and how things were going and they edited that specific question out, or if he just went against his word and started talking about them anyways. I don't know, I don't care. But basically it just set the tone for the date. Basically, Garrett has to go defend himself to Hannah and say, I'm not the awful one, Luke's the awful one. We also see Garrett tell Hannah that he loves her. Not that he's falling for her, that he straight up loves her, which I don't know if I find genuine. I feel like with all the drama with Luke bad-mouthing him defending himself and basically ending it with, well, I love you, it's just like him trying to be like saving grace and save himself and try to make him stand out from Luke. I think it was more of a competitive thing than it was a genuine thing. So what are your thoughts about that? What did you think? And then Garrett comes out, and then there's like a Luke and Garrett showdown. Luke ends up throwing baloney on Garrett's lap, yelling at him, closing his fist, but in all fairness, Garrett's sitting there egging him on, which is like almost just as bad. I feel like Garrett was just really trying to get Luke to get physical with him. So what do you guys think of Garrett? I liked him with his alone time with Hannah, but everything else, I'm just like, no. Then Luke ends up getting up, going outside, talking to Peter. Garrett's sitting inside, so I'm like, where's Hannah? Because like, when Garrett and Luke were going at it, I thought she was talking with Peter, but no, Peter's just standing outside by himself, and I'm like, what is going on here? The consensus of Luke talking to Peter is that Peter's like, great, you set the tone, she's in a bad mood now, blah, 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 like, you just messed my time up. So what does Peter do? He goes and finds Hannah, sits down, talks to her, doesn't talk about drama, which is probably why he got the rose. He didn't talk about drama. So Hannah's like, okay, you're definitely saying, and they have that really intense connection anyway. So it's no big surprise that Peter got the rose. Now we're on the 2-on-1 showdown at dinner between Luke and Garrett, and at this point it's like, okay, we all know Garrett's going home. Hannah doesn't really waste much time, and you can just tell that she's literally terrified to say Luke's name in front of Garrett, and then Garrett's just like, your mistake, ma'am. That is how the episode ended. Of course, more drama to come after hometowns and like the fantasy suites. So I'm just really interested to see how the rest of the show goes down. What are your predictions? Leave them in the comments below. I'm obviously hoping she ends up with Tyler. Who is your pick for Hannah? Let me know. And let's go ahead and talk about Peter, because I feel like Peter is a really good contender. I feel like her and Peter maybe have a little bit of a better connection than her and Tyler have, but there's a rumor that Peter also had a girlfriend that he left for the show. I saw this article floating around last week. Of course, everything happens like after I already put my videos up. But basically the story says, this is from Reality Steve, and basically I stay away from him unless if I see something popping up all over Twitter. It's been floating around the internet and even showed up as some tweets about Peter having someone he was dating pre-show and then dumped her once he found out he was cast. I spoke with her, have been in contact with her the last 2 months, did an interview with her that was supposed to be posted. She texted me last minute saying after all the backlash she saw Haley, who is Jed's girlfriend that he ghosted, after she saw all the backlash Haley was getting, she didn't want to come forward with her story and have it out there. This is someone who went over their timeline of their relationship with Peter that definitely coincided when he found out he was on the show, and it wasn't casual either. I don't think taking someone to Switzerland, which I saw pictures of, and then dumping them weeks later out of the blue, which I have texts of, is the greatest look. Side note, Peter's a pilot, so it's not really a big deal that he was in Switzerland and brought his girlfriend or the girl he was dating and the girl he was talking to. Pilots travel all the time. They travel all over the world. I know pilots in real life. They have their weekend. They go fly to Paris. They bring their friends with them. They bring a girl that they're talking to. Like, they go fly to Florida. They go fly to another person I know went to Switzerland. Like, they literally fly all over the world on their days off. So to me, it's not a red flag or a bad sign that he took someone that he was dating to a different country. To me, that's like casual, almost like casual. When you're dating a pilot, it's like not like, obviously the average person isn't traveling outside the country with their significant other, but when you're dating a pilot, it's to be expected. So for me, I'm just kind of like, okay, that sounds serious to the average person, but if you know the airline business and you know pilots, it's really not that deep, not that serious, not that huge of a deal to easily travel around the world. I just, in Peter's defense, just wanted to say that. And it says that Peter's ex-girlfriend started dating someone new, so she doesn't want the information out there, and I was informed to not run the interview anymore. So what are your thoughts on that? It sounds like Peter broke up with the girl weeks before. We don't know how serious it was, if they were someone that was like, they were just casually seeing each other. I don't think it's a big deal that they broke up when he found out he was casted. Obviously things aren't serious if he applied for the show in the first place. So what are your thoughts on that? It's totally different than the Jed situation in the sense that Jed was there for himself, for his own personal gain, to advertise himself, to gain fame out of it. I don't think Peter's like that, and a lot of pilots casually date. It's a very hard lifestyle, I think, for people to adjust to seriously date, because you're always on the go, always in different locations. So let me know your thoughts. All right, I'm gonna give you a quick preview into the rumored Bachelor in Paradise cast. This is what ABC has posted so far. Basically, it's everyone on Colton's season, a couple of people from Becca's season, and because they didn't want to give spoilers, I'm sure once the Bachelorette is over, it's going to be a lot of people from Hannah's season. Not that surprising, but I just want to run through names. I may make a different official video once everything is said and done, but so far, there's going to be Annalise from Ari's season and Bibiana from Ari's season. They were on Bachelor in Paradise before. Blake from Becca's season. I love Blake. I really wanted him to be the next Bachelor instead of Colton. But he's going to be on Paradise, so I'm glad we get to see him again. Kaylin from Colton's season. Cam from... Of course, they have to pick the most annoying person to put on Paradise from this season. Cam from this season is going to be on there. Chris from Emily's season. Bachelorette season 10 with Andy. And Bachelor Ped season 3, Bachelor Paradise seasons 1 and 2. So that's like a really, that's gonna be a big throwback for that one. Have Clay from Becca's season, Demi from Colton's season, Derek from JoJo's season, Hannah, the beauty blogger from Colton's season, Jane from Colton's season, John Paul Jones from Hannah's season, Katie from Colton's season, Kevin from Hannah's season, Nicole from Colton's season, Anyeka from Colton's season, Cindy from Colton's season, and Wills from Becca's season. So that would be an interesting mix. I wish it was a little bit more diverse, but then again, they do Bachelor in Paradise every season. So of course, the majority of the cast is gonna be fresh off that Bachelor and Bachelorette season. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. That is gonna wrap it up for this week's episode of Bachelorette Talks. Start a discussion down below. What are your thoughts on the episode? Do you have any tea to spill? Let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this. Turn notifications on so you can be notified when my other videos are out. And if you are new to my channel, I am also a beauty content creator, so check out my other videos that are floating around, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone!